today I have the pleasure of presenting to you guys Max Center or Remax.net. And so I think it's important to lay out a distinction that we make here at the firm. And that is, there are two types of platforms as far as you're concerned when it comes to Remax Executive. There are platforms that Remax Corporate, right, like Denver Remax, Big Remax provides to you. And you'll find all of those living within Remax.net or Max Center, as some people refer to it. And then there's all the third-party marketing apps and everything that we provide to you as a firm that are separate from those. And those are all the fun things. Kevin, I know you're more new than Kelly. Kelly, you've seen some of the stuff already that Amy and Aaron have presented to you in the past. And Kevin, I think you'll see it as we continue to move forward with all the trainings available to you. So that's an important distinction to make. So anything Remax corporate related, we'll find here. I will share my screen with you and we'll basically just start walking through it. I guess the first thing I should ask before we get too far down the rabbit hole is if both of you have received your Remax.net login, or if you've claimed your account, I guess, because you'll get an invite from Max Center inviting you to claim an account.
Yeah, I've already logged into Max Center and messed around a little bit with stuff.
Cool. Kelly, I assume you're good as well. Awesome. Okay, so with that being said, let's go ahead. I'll share my screen. And I closed everything out, so there's no incriminating evidence of what I do during the day exposed. Let's make sure. Let's go here and we'll hit share. Everybody see that? Everyone good? Cool. So I'm dual screened, so you guys will just have to deal with the awkwardness of me actually talking to you but looking that way. It just is what it is. So okay, so this is basically initially what you see as you log into Max Center. This is your dashboard, if you will. Obviously, there's some corporate news here, training opportunities, all that kind of fun stuff that you can see there in Max Center Go. On the left side, your frequently used apps. I'll show you guys how to highlight those so that you only keep the ones you guys want to use there for you. And then there's obviously other agent resources and all that kind of fun stuff. You can see referrals and all that stuff, which is kind of funny because I'm not even an agent. But all that stuff is available to you. If you go to apps on the left side, you'll see all the apps are available to you, quite a bit. I'll highlight the ones that I think are important, and you can do the same or you cannot. I mean, it's really entirely up to you. But we definitely want to talk about first. We'll talk about Booge. We'll talk about Backbone. We'll talk about Remax University, Remax Hustle, and last but not least, we will talk about the marketing portal. Okay. I'm not going to go every single little icon here, but in Find is a directory, company directory, so you can find agents all over the country, all that kind of fun stuff, or agents within your own firm. Tools, about the only thing I'll highlight here is that there's a little URL shortener, and they hide it down there in tools. I'm just going to highlight it to you because I think it's really useful for our agents to use. Basically, if you guys know what a URL shortener is, it takes a giant web address and drops it into a little teeny tiny link. And this one gives you a Remax centric link. So I think it's rem.ax and then / whatever. It's kind of neat. It's got some rudimentary tracking on it, so you can see who's clicked on it, who hasn't. Might be helpful if you're doing like some kind of mail campaign. You're trying to see if something performs better than something else from a really rudimentary perspective, and you don't want to go out and start paying for a bunch of email campaign marketing metrics or anything like that. But a lot of people like to use them when they've got these big links, whether it's from like your MLS or something like that. You can have a nice cute little Remax.net URL. They are perpetual, so once you use that link, it will never be used by anyone else, so you don't have any risk that your link can all of a sudden send somebody to the wrong place. But they are available to you. They're just as simple as copying and pasting the link into the little app, and then it just kicks out a little rem.ax link for you from there. Going back to home, now that I've highlighted my favorites here, you can see that they have now been obviously upgraded or prioritized onto my little dashboard here. The only other thing I'm going to point out before we start getting too deep is just kind of initial setup stuff. I have gotten Glow Currents, one of our agents here, to share her login so you guys can see it the same way you see it, because my account is like one of these, super fancy, all-knowing accounts that is helpful for me, but not helpful for training. So if we go into Glow's profile, we go to update profile, it's going to drop us into our Mac Center profile. This profile here that it drops you into drives every single piece of information from a Remax perspective. So that means if I go to remax.com and I look you up organically on an agent search because I'm a client, all the information that comes up in your quick little, like, I hate this reference, but in your quick little book directory listing is going to be driven by the information that you put here. Okay. On the same token, your remax.com website, and we're going to talk about those here in the next few minutes, are all the information on that website is captured from this profile as well. So things like your contact information, your social media profiles, your license number, your specialties, all that kind of stuff is driven from this profile. Okay. So just in a quick little 2-second run through of this profile, obviously, if you need to make an edit to anything, like your headshot, you can just click here on the edit button. You can see that the name can get changed, your birth date, all that kind of stuff, versus your license is all there. You want to change the picture, you just can click on the picture, change your picture, and you're off and running. General info, again, simple things, birth dates, all that kind of fun stuff. Contact info, again, you'll find your email. So your initial email that you set yourself up with, let's say you changed your Gmail for whatever reason, if you needed to change where that remax.net email is forwarding to, you can come in here and hit edit, change that email, and then your remax.net email will forward to that new email. Your social media sites are there, phone numbers, a fax if you're still rocking a fax somewhere. I don't know, maybe you're old, maybe that's kind of maybe a hipster thing these days. Maybe, like records, faxes are coming back. And photos there again, special details. You can add your license numbers here, your specialties if you feel like it. Those designations that you sat through, another 4-hour course for, just so you could have that special, I don't know, high cost value property designation or whatever, luxury designation. You can add there. If you do any commercial work, if you want to add additional service areas outside of just the office areas, let's say, like, for example, we have here in Gastonia, North Carolina, does some business down in Wilmington. She probably has added Wilmington as an additional service area so that she comes up and is listed as a Wilmington agent. And then any prior affiliations, if you want to go back and say, I've been doing real estate for 1,000 years before coming to Remax. Personal details, again, this is kind of the more fuzzy stuff. I think this is the stuff that is a little more valuable when you're trying to differentiate. So in other words, if I'm trying to work with a new prospect and I'm competing with another agent or something like that, this is probably really where you want to spend more of your time, because this colors you and makes you a little different than just a basic agent or something like that. So your personal bio, from my time, before I came to Remax, I was at Bank of America, and we did a whole lot of work with executives and all this kind of stuff on the marketing side. Your personal bio, you want this to be short. I know we are all kind of wired to be a little more vociferous about who we are and what we're about, and we like to write these long bios. We used to have executives who would have like these page-long bios, but the reality of it is, people are probably not going to read more than a paragraph, maybe two, depending if I don't know, maybe if you're like, I don't even know what would drive someone into that second paragraph. Maybe you're telling a story, or you've been some explorer, or I don't know what the heck would make them do that. But that first paragraph is really where you want to get it, right? This is what we call in the corporate America, we call it your elevator pitch, right? You've got 5 seconds with somebody. How do you make that person remember you? How do you make that person want to know more about you? How do you make that person want to do business with you, right? 5 seconds. So they're going to read that paragraph, they're going to be off and running. If they had to click read more or they have to go to a second page. It's just not happening. Okay. So you want to kind of boil that down. I think Glow's probably done a fairly good job here. She's talking about her background, how long she's been in the business, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, I wanted to add a side note if I could. Just also keep in mind that it's not just like your clients on the internet kind of looking at this, but a lot of my agents get like Remax referrals. So it's also going to be like other Remax agents that are kind of going in and kind of looking at what differentiates you. I just wanted to kind of put that in the perspective as well.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. So going down the line, educational background, right? So college, university, high school, whatever it might be, civic activities. If like Glow, I actually find this kind of funny because I know that Glow does a whole lot of work with animal shelters and stuff around the city. I thought she'd probably be posting about that, but maybe she hasn't gotten that far. Hobbies, I don't know, whether you like to hike, I don't know, ride motorcycles. Like I think Aaron rides motorcycles. Aaron, you ride motorcycles?
Back when I was younger and a little crazier, I did, but I didn't drive them. I just rode them, but not as much anymore.
Languages, I think that the language one is a really, really good one because, you know, if you're bilingual or you like, we have some folks who are, who I know who work a little more closely with American nationals who are like coming back or re-immigrating back into the States, stuff like that, Army brats, all that kind of stuff. It does help if you have some good knowledge, maybe you know some German, whatever it might be. If you've got that kind of specialty, it always helps. And like, for example, in the city of Charlotte, we have a massive, speaking of Germany, we have a massive German commercial complex. So there's a whole ton of companies that are moving here from Germany and opening offices. If you can speak German, there's probably you know, an advantage to you in this market because you've got a whole lot of folks who are having to come in here and immigrate into the city with all these big German companies that are coming in and opening up offices here. So like that's probably one you want to have some pride in. But obviously every market's different. So I'm just trying to give you guys examples of what you got going on there and what you can add. Mls affiliation. This is pretty straightforward. Obviously, if you work in whatever MLS you're in, you should have a canopy here. Or if you're in Wilmington, I guess that's Cape Fear, or I think they call it North Carolina Regional Realtor Association or something like that. That all should be up and running for you anyway. And then last but not least, your award history. So this will obviously build as you continue to have success with us. But you can see Glow's award history there for you guys to see. Any questions real quick as I'm kind of rushing through all this stuff for you guys. You guys good? Thumbs up. I don't expect you to unmute yourself. Cool. All right. So going back to Max Center, I think I might have, did I just log out? That little button said to take me back, but hopefully I didn't log out. Going back to Max Center, we're back at our dashboard. So we're just going to do this kind of in a real casual way. We're just going to walk through our frequently used app there in the top right corner, and I'll pause after each one. But what my intent today is to kind of give you a good high-level overview of what each one of these does, and then as we continue through the training process, we can get more in depth about like, okay, what do you need to click to make magic happen, right? But let's at least understand what each one does at a high level and how it might help you in your business, and then we'll dive deeper into other things as we continue to do more training. All right, so first up. I always start off with marketing just because I think this is really helpful for you guys from an initial setup perspective. So it's a little different than, you know, pure, like you're already rocking and rolling and you need, you know, to be working prospects and all that kind of stuff. This kind of helps you with initial setup, right? So you can find here, if you click on logos, you can find all these downloadable logos. This is great for signatures, you know, any kind of email campaigns, you know, if you're building a website, all that stuff, you can see everything here that's available to you. Obviously, all the platforms are here. The Remax Identity Manual is really useful, going back to that whole like custom design idea, and that it gives you, okay, like what color blue is here and what color blue is there, what's that red there, and all that kind of stuff. It tells you the width of the letters and all that kind of stuff. So if you have like a graphic designer or you're working with like a web designer or something like that, this is a key piece of information they need so that they don't get you in trouble with corporate because you know put the wrong color blue in the wrong place, or you put Remax balloon somewhere where it's not supposed to be. Like I remember at Bank of America, the Bank of America logo couldn't set directly next to another company's logo. That was against company rules. Like there was all kinds of weird stuff. So really useful stuff there. Really cool little place to look at because it also tells you what you're allowed to do from like a black and white perspective and how you're supposed to use the logo. So if you want to do something a little more sophisticated, which I think a lot of people associate with like a black and white type logo, then you can see what you're allowed to do or not. You can get the balloon, the basic logos are all there. If you're, again, I think there's even bilingual ones, and then obviously the collection here. So the collection, just as a quick little reference for you guys, is our high value or luxury property designation. So if your listing is, I believe it has to be $300,000 higher than the citywide average in your market, then it qualifies to be Remax collection, and then you can use this, fancier marketing collection. All the colors change and everything. You can see it up in that little brochure that I showed you earlier.
2 times the average listing price, and it changes by zip code. So
you say 2 times the average listing price?
2 times the average sales price, like close price.
Yeah,
sorry.
so that makes sense on how I came up with my backwards math. I know here in Charlotte it's 700, and I know that our average is typically around 350.
Right.
So,
yeah. But it varies by zip code. So like I'm over here in Asheville, and like one zip code is like real high dollar, and then another zip code might be, a lot lower. So it's good to just kind of like go into that threshold. And I think you'll probably show us later, and just take a look if you think it might be a luxury property.
Yep. So again, all these logos are here available to you, the We Are's. If you're into CMN, you can grab that. Again, no, we're not going to boil the ocean here, but you can see everything that's available to you. Jumping over, the next place that I like to focus is over here in digital and social. Digital and social, again, is going to be very straightforward. It's going to be a whole bunch of social media backgrounds, Instagram posts, all this content, for lack of a better word, that you guys can all use and leverage for yourself, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, whatever it might be. I will click in here real quick on this little puppy, cute little puppy. And you can see everything here. There's LinkedIn backgrounds, there's Facebook covers, stuff for Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube cover photos if you're into the video. I'm trying to get down here to the Instagram stuff. Where the Instagram? I might have missed it in my fast scrolling. I was going to point out the Instagram stuff. It might be near the top. I broke this stuff up. If I could find the Instagram stuff, what I wanted to show you is that the way it works is that you can download it by quarter. So when you go into it and you say download, it's going to give you basically every holiday you could possibly imagine, from like Donut Day to the real ones, right? Like your July 4th and whatnot, Independence Day. And every year they update these. So these are completely refreshed every single year. I don't know what the graphic company is they're using to do all this, but we do find that the Instagram posts, especially when you understand that you want to be regularly posting to your Insta, is that those really fill in those gaps, right? So you're not like constantly having to do like house photos or photos of yourself or whatever. It really fills it in on the holidays, and they do a good job with the graphics. So that's something to think about. We'll talk about Back at You Media. So trying to link back to some of the other platforms we provide to you guys. Back at You Media allows you to post. It's provided to you by Remax Executive, and allows you to post social media across all your platforms at the same time, right? So you don't have to necessarily go into Instagram, go in there and click around. Oh, now I'm going to Facebook and everything. It does it all in one shot, and it allows you to do it months ahead of time. So you can go in there, you can download a whole quarter, just go into Back at You, drop all these things in whatever day you want them to post, July 4th, Memorial Day, et cetera, and then you'll know that you're automatically going to be having a post going that day, and you don't actually have to lift the fingers. So instead of having to go, do daily social media postings, you can just plan the whole thing out. So anyway, these are all here for you to download, take a look around, mess around with them, see what you like, what you don't like. Obviously, they may not work for you. Maybe you've got a different flavor going on with your Insta, but those are always there. Running down the line, the other thing I like to point out here on sorry, I saw that Kevin hit me up a second ago. House sign-in sheet. Okay. All right. Well, when we get the megaphone, we'll try to track that down for you, man. And if I don't have the answer, we'll get you the answer after training, regardless. Coming over to marketing and claims and slogans. So this is really useful again for listing presentations, all that kind of fun stuff. You can see all the comparisons, whether it's sales experience of a Remax agent versus a non-Remax agent, market share of the brand, right? So nobody sells more real estate than Remax. Remax agents worldwide sell more real estate than any other brand, all that kind of stuff. That's all here. The thought of more, like the fact that we're the #1 name in real estate when people are surveyed and all that kind of stuff is all here for you. All the way down to a hot air balloon fleet, which apparently is the largest in the world. But all those claims are here. Again, you can use those for your listing presentations, all that kind of stuff. People are always looking for statistics that make us stand out versus competition. These are all the ones that have been validated by corporate, so they're all here, and you can use those safely without ever worrying about someone calling your bluff. So please don't go make up your own statistics and grab them from here. So that is the marketing tab. Any questions? Are we good? I know, Amy, Aaron, how late do I have these people? 11:15 or 11:30? No one knows.
I'm pretty sure it's 11:15, but I'll double check.
Okay. I'm trying to be mindful of time. Okay, that helps. All right, so that is the marketing tab. We're gonna jump into, not megaphone yet, Kevin. We're gonna jump into Remax Hustle. I really like Remax Hustle. So again, I like to give context to everything we're presenting. So going just maybe a step back, Remax Hustle is the outcome of work done by Booge. So I know that we have a platform called Booge, which is really confusing, but Booge is also a company. So we bought a company 2 years back that does real estate, real estate programming and websites and all that stuff, but they did it at a boutique level, and they were doing it for charlatans. They did it for like Alan Tate and Helen Adams, for example. They provided them with all their software, their CRM, their websites, all that kind of stuff. Remax understood a few years back they wanted to continue to improve their digital footprint, and so they bought up the whole entire company, and now we are their sole client. And this is one of the first pieces of output that they provided us. It continues to grow regularly. Like this thing had, I think, one little tile when it started. And then they also provide us Booge, which we'll talk about here in a minute, which is our CRM. It's crazy. It's our CRM, it's our website controller, and then it also allows you to do a whole bunch of other stuff like drip campaigns and email campaigns, one-off anniversaries, all that kind of stuff is all driven through Booge. So Booge also, like I said, provided this, and so I always like to come in and just point out just some of the stuff here. I know that especially when we're starting out, that video is one of the most expensive things you can do. I mean, you can be really organic and grassroots with it and bootstrap it and, you know, go out and get a selfie stick and do that kind of stuff. But if you're talking about true kind of high quality video production, it can be pretty pricey. So they listened to you all, to the agents, and understood that that was a pain point. And so they came up with some of the stuff you see here. So I always just come in here and do like a quick commercial. So commercial here is going to leverage any of our content that we've produced here as Remax Corporate in Denver, and you're going to be able to customize like an actual TV ad that they've actually put out on the air to you, right? So it'll be your name, your contact info, your photo, all that kind of stuff. And you can literally do this in about 3.5 minutes. That might actually be too long for how long it actually takes. On the left side, you have this, you use the Hustle video editor. That's going to be more of a custom video editor. So if you've done a bunch of video and you want to go there and start messing around, you can have stuff there. And then highlight your skills here. is it's kind of like an ad, except that you get to choose what the ad is actually promoting about you. So literally you get, I think it's got like 30 skills, and you get to choose what mix of skills you want to highlight. And then the ad is customized to you with your photo and all this kind of fun stuff. So I always like to show people how easy this is, right? So like if we want to do the skills thing, we just come in here, we put on our info. So we're just gonna go next. I'm gonna do this as fast as I can for you guys. I want to use my Gmail for whatever reason. Let's just say realtor, right? It's got to be all capitals according to the realtor people. Exactly. Let's see, contact info, upload my photo. I don't know if I have a photo. Just a second. Oh, I know where it is. Should have had this ready for you guys. It just occurred to me. Where are my documents? So my 2-minute promise is not working out just because I don't have my own photo laying around somewhere. I sworn I kept it though. Well, I'm if you know anything about me, is that I'm very stubborn, so we're gonna do this one way or the other. So oh, you gotta be kidding me. So just for example's sake, we're gonna do this real quick, but I don't suggest you actually doing it this way. I think you probably have a high quality photo somewhere. All right, so going back to Remax Hustle, we'll upload a photo, terrible screenshot, done. See my little picture shows up in the little frame over there. And then I get to pick what makes me stand out. So let's say, you know, I am a good negotiator, I have marketing savvy, and I've been doing this for a long time, right? And specify, I've been doing it for 10 years. I can choose my music. I don't know if you guys, can you guys hear this? Yes? No, you can't hear it? Huh. Hey, there's music. Video. Oh, I have to put in a website. So let's just and finally, we hit create video. It processes for like 10 seconds. And now you have an official video. So obviously this headshot would be nice and clean. I hit play. And I have an ad. I know, you know, it's not like we just CGI'd you into an Avengers movie, but at the same token, this is pretty useful. So if you've got a website, if you just want to send this as an email, as an introduction to, you know, whatever you want to do with it, put it on Facebook, et cetera, here you can do as many of these as you possibly want. You can, every iteration you could do. And same thing with the ads. The ads are using high production commercials that Remax corporate is paid for, and then customizing you the same way that you see here with your name and information. You can use that wherever you want. You can download the video and literally have the actual video file and do whatever you want with it. You can make it as a Facebook video cover in your background. You can just have the link and link it somewhere. And then obviously you can see all the different ways to share it, whether it's LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, or you can just send the email out if you want to do like some email campaign. Pretty simple stuff, pretty powerful stuff, especially like I said, we have a bunch of agents here who do a lot of video, and you hear the prices and stuff that they pay for video is pretty insane. So very useful there for you guys to use. Any questions? We good? Cool. Yeah, again, I know I'm running through this quickly, so if you do want to do some of this stuff later and then you're like, I don't remember what the heck just happened, I'll always reach back out to us and we'll happily walk you through this stuff. I just want you guys to have an idea of what's here and what's available to you. I'm not going to do all these, but you can see also going to do an infographic here. You can do a digital welcome mat, which it's like a little digital card that you send to someone when they move into like a new home or something like that, welcoming there. You can even do a listing video if you want to show off your listing. All kinds of awesome stuff. The create a community message was a little fascinating one that they added in, knowing just how much community messaging is starting to grow. No matter what side of the aisle you're on, whether you're a blue line flag person or you're a BLM person or whatever it might be, whatever you're passionate about, there's a whole lot of community messaging going on. And so they made this available to folks as well to make those kind of videos if they want to do that there. Okay, so that was Remax Hustle. We've talked about marketing and hustle so far. I should have started off with Remax University, but I got myself a little backwards. I'm just going to talk about this for just 2 seconds, but Remax University, very straightforward, is it actually kind of cracks me up because I was just in Chicago a few weeks ago, and they actually have Hamburger University in Chicago. Have you guys ever heard of that? It's in downtown Chicago in the West Loop, and it's where McDonald's trains all of its chefs and cooks. And you can go in there, and they actually have a McDonald's that sells every single type of like specific sandwich or whatever that they've customized worldwide. So you can go in there and get like the real weird ones that they're selling in different countries, all on Hamburger University. Anyway, Remax University is similar, except it's not hamburgers, it's teaching how to be an agent. And it has access to a whole bunch of videos and all the kind of stuff that you can see, whether it's on Booge first, or just our marketing tools, Megaphone, all that kind of stuff, and how to use all these platforms. This is really helpful for people who are self-guided, right? Not everybody enjoys watching a video tutorial on how to do things, but some folks are really driven that way. So we always want to point that out, that it's here and it's there for you guys to use it. There's also CE that you can do in here. So if you're, for whatever reason, you forgot your CE and you need to jump in here and do your continuing ed, you can come in here and do it. And then there's all kinds of learning tracks. The new to Remax one is free. It's kind of like the same thing I'm doing for you now, except some Remax person doing it for you. Remax technology, obviously free, but there's also some other ones in here like the boot camps and Take Flight, new to business, I think is like $10 or something like that. And it's a 10-hour course that will teach you, some of the best practices of being a real estate agent if you're completely new to the industry. All kinds of fun stuff here that you can be around in, but we always like to point this out because we can't be available to you guys 24/7. And some people like to work at night. Some people like to get up super early, all that kind of stuff. And a lot of interest on the Remax provided platforms will be here for you as well if you can't get a hold of us. Cool. Speaking of which, Aaron, Amy, if you guys don't mind putting the help at RMX Executive, probably a good time to give that a shout out for everybody into the chat. Help at Remax Executive is our email address for if you need help, for lack of better explanation, for anything across the whole entire firm, whether it's technology, SkySlope, anything. The three of us check that email regularly to make sure that someone stopped the recording. Now it's back.
Sorry, I'm not used to having like the admin access, and there's all these buttons, and I accidentally click them, so that was my bad.
Yeah, no worries.
Good now though.
But that email address is there for you guys in case you guys ever need us. Probably a good time to call that out as we're talking about the university. All right, next up, we'll talk high level about Megaphone. And Kevin, I think it's probably going to make more sense for us to go offline to get into the more nitty gritty. But my discussion with Megaphone is a very simple one. We had something called Design Center, and it was off-the-shelf marketing. So what is off-the-shelf marketing? Essentially, in the marketing world, off-the-shelf marketing is stuff that you can literally grab off the shelf and use it. I mean, that's I am a an MBA, a marketing MBA. I did marketing at Bank of America for 14 years, and the stuff that we come up with is ridiculous. Off the shelf marketing, you grab it off the shelf, you can use it. So it's going to be things like templates. It's going to be flyers, home tours, all that kind of minutia that you think about that helps you kind of do your business day to day is all here and available to you to use, right? So just at a high level, you can promote a listing, just in basic way you promote a listing. You can promote your business. So this is more talking about you yourself, whether you drive it through social media or whatever. You can create a custom ad through here. And then more importantly for you guys, at least initially, you can use the content templates. I do on promote a listing and promote my business. Both of these I think are at cost, right? Because now we're talking about actually buying advertisements on social media platforms, right? But the templates are available to you guys for free. Does that make sense? So one is actually taking the template and then pushing it out into the world and making sure that everyone sees your ad on Facebook. And another is just posting something on Facebook on your regular page, and people who follow you will see it, and or grabbing a flyer or whatever and then using it that way. So if we go into the content, it's going to take us to deluxe. Just wants to jump around a little bit, probably because I got 900 things open. And here in deluxe, you're going to be able to see some of these are the trending things. But if you want to get into more detail, and I think Kevin, what was it you were looking for? You're looking for a
Open house sign-in sheet.
An open house signage. That is very specific. Let's see what we can find. So we go to content. I wonder if that's not something we can have our folks here make for you, but I don't know if they get to that level of detail. I know that
I'm pretty sure it doesn't exist.
Right. I was gonna say in Design Center, they got down to that level of minutia, but I think what they've been doing since they transitioned over to Megaphone 2 or 3 months ago to handle all this. I know for a fact that this is building out, but they probably just haven't gotten down to that level of detail yet. They kind of hit the big ones first, postcards, brochures, that kind of stuff.
So we're promoting no open houses.
No, so promoting an open house, but a sign up
I'm kidding.
Is a little different. Let's see. We go to flyers.
No, I had everything else besides that, and that's fine. I made one.
So you're just asking me for fun, Kevin? Is that what was happening?
Well, I just didn't know. Maybe you're the pro, so there's a hidden button,
I don't think they're gonna have I've seen an open house where you can like customize that you're promoting an open house. I've never seen a sign up sheet like the way you have like sitting at the front door. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, so I did use the open house flyer. So I came from EXP and we had a similar thing, all these different templates, and then I got real good with that, but there was like 2 or 3 different basic sign-in sheets. So I didn't know if there was one that had all of our colors. We just added in our photo and that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, no, so this is how, we have a great relationship with Remax Corporate, given just how gigantic we've gotten. So this is how content gets made. So we have a bi-weekly meeting with those programmers and developers, and we will raise this up as a request. So you can get your
escalate it and take credit for it, Al.
Yeah, no, I don't want credit for it. I'm going to say Kevin Black, he was the inspiration for this. And I'll even say EXP has it, and I guarantee you that thing will get made in like a day and a half. So anyway, that stuff is all here. I just want to, I don't know how much you guys have actually used Deluxe or Megaphone, but you can do all the fun stuff, right? So if we're talking about postcards or any kind of mailings, you can do your geometric or geographic mailings, right? You can do proximity mailing. So let's say you had an open house, Kevin, and then you sold that home, and you want to send a postcard to every possible person you can within a square mile of that listing that you sold. You can use Deluxe to do that. Obviously, there's a cost for the actual mailings. You can actually do the geometric drawings on a map, right? So if you just want to grab a neighborhood, it's got very distinct lines, you can do that. You can just send to a list. You can do all kinds of fun stuff through here. All that is available. All that stuff is pretty powerful. And it's all here. So make sure you take advantage of it. You can download all this stuff and do whatever you want with it. If you prefer to go print it yourself and go stuff mailboxes, although I don't think that's actually allowed anymore. But if you want to go stuff mailboxes, you can do that. Just try fast. But that's all there under Megaphone and available to you guys. So I'm going to catch my breath here for a quick second. Is there any questions? I guess the only other thing I want to point out is you definitely will, obviously, if you're going to be doing the social media stuff, you need to connect your social media account so that it can post there for you. But otherwise, it's a pretty straightforward platform.
I was off for a little bit because I had a client come in. Did you do booze yet, or we still got booze to go?
No, booze is what's going to take up the last 30 minutes probably.
I just wanted to make sure everybody knew about all of the zip codes for the leads and all that, but I guess that's forthcoming.
Yeah, no problem. I would have been micro machining it to get through booze while you're gone for 2 minutes. I've never done any auctions or anything. I can't speak that fast. So jumping into first, this one is an interesting platform. I'm just really going to describe it to you and let you sign up for it. I believe with First you'll get it for free. And then after you trial it, then there's an actual fee, even though we are, I believe, the owner of First now. That's the technology is more expensive. And so this one is not one you get for free. But what First does is essentially it uses predictive analytics. What does predictive analytics mean? Basically, it takes your whole entire database you upload to First. It goes out on the internet, and using predictive analytics, it can tell you which ones of your database are suddenly showing the same patterns, predictive patterns that previous people who have shown when they're getting ready to sell a home or buy a home. And then it highlights them to you and says, hey, this person turns into a 4-star lead. This person is out doing all the things that we've seen a million times before someone do right before they get ready to list a house. You should probably reach out to them and say, hey, I want to catch up with you, et cetera, et cetera. I know that we've worked together in the past. Just let me know if you need anyone. And there you're off and running. It's pretty bananas what they're able to do. The predictive analytics are pretty sophisticated, and the algorithms they're using are pretty neat. Very straightforward platform, very simple use, but a really good way to kind of mine your existing database outside of just your traditional marketing of drip campaigns and email campaigns and all that kind of stuff, where you're hoping that they click on something and it triggers something else. Here you're actually just using their existing Google Life or whatever you want to call it, and they're basically telling you what they're getting ready to do. Pretty fun stuff. A little Big Brother, but I think at this point in our lives, everything is pretty Big Brother. Given that Amazon will offer, apply half the random jokes I've made today, Amazon will probably try to sell me something related to them later on. So it's kind of a weird world we're living in. So that's what First does for you. And now we're going to get into the meat of what we're going to have to get into here today, and that's Boosh. So Boosh, going back again and referencing what we talked about earlier, is Khalil hasn't been in here in a long time, so we need to agree to everything. It's your CRM, it's your website manager, and then it also allows you to do campaigns, right? Things like drip campaigns, nurture campaigns, all that kind of fun stuff. So what we always tell folks initially, come on into Boosh. I'm going to have you take a quick look at the Boosh setup, but then we're going to talk about your website, your contacting leads and how you can manage those. That portion of it's a little more straightforward. And then Aaron's going to make sure that we update your zip codes as well, so that I don't mess that up. But he's coming up here and clicking on your face, or it could be just an avatar if you haven't uploaded a photo yet. You can come in here and you can see all the settings that are available to you. So how you set up your calendar, all that kind of fun stuff is there. But then as we jump into it, whether or not you wanted to import your lead street stuff, that you would have had to been an old school Remax agent for that to be available to you. When you initially come in and you look at your contacts and leads, what you see initially, whether it's your dashboard or something else, what type of notifications you get. So I think this is an important one to call out, because I think everyone is a little different on how they want to receive things. We always tell folks that the app is probably better than email, or text messages better than email on leads, because how often you check your email is going to limit you on whether or not you're going to catch that lead. The app is probably something else you want to download. You have your own Bouge app, and with the website integration and everything like that, as people are like, you've sent them your website and are surfing around and looking at homes and everything, you can actually track them on your app. You can send them links that you find interesting, all that kind of stuff. They can message you through the app, and you can also get leads through the apps. The app, I think, is something that is going to continue to grow and be more valuable to you guys. So it's probably one you want to download and play around with. So you can contact, you can do email import. So far they've done Google and Microsoft. My understanding is the next one up is going to be Apple. So you can import your contacts and everything in here. Tags. So this is how you can come in here, really change any tags in your CRM, change the colors that they have, do whatever it is you do here. Outside adding. So when you're in the actual CRM, you can add a tag like in a blink of an eye. But if you want to come in here and be real nitty gritty with it, you can come in here with these tags and change colors and the names and remove and all that kind of fun stuff. Same thing in the CRM. You can come in and add custom fields to your CRM that you want to see. Integrations. This feature is not quite here yet, but this will eventually build out, and it's going to have things like sky slope. I've heard sky slope. I don't want to make any commitment there, but there's things that have been coming in here, third-party apps, whether it's dot loop or whatever. Who knows what they'll end up actually integrating in here, but this will be your third-party integrations. And then you can see your market area. So I think, Aaron, this is where you're wanting us to remind you guys, you need to make sure you have 10 zip codes here where you want to be receiving leads for. And you can specify what type of leads you want, if you don't want rentals, for example, or I don't know, you're really not into farms, and then what phone number you want to receive those leads to. This is probably the most important little tab inside of this list page for you guys to concentrate in, because this is going to drive your Remax.com leads. Cool. All right. So coming into deals, the deal side of the site is basically allows you to kind of have a pipeline, so you can upload everything there, and you can understand kind of your predicted forecasts for your income and all that kind of stuff. You can drive all through your deals, and you can associate those back to actual clients in your CRM, so that later on you can say, okay, how much you've got, like an investor or something you work with often, you can see that how much business you've actually done with them without having to keep an Excel spreadsheet somewhere. Yeah, my throat's killing me. Inbox. So you can actually you have an email that will drive through here, so you can link your Gmail and stuff in here, and you can see how your emails are received and everything like that. You can add email signatures. In the text messaging, you can enable text messaging so that you can technically add the app to folks. So if you get a text or they text you, you can reply while you're just working inside the app without having to look at your phone. Legal stuff, probably not all that interesting to you. Libraries. This is content library. So as you add things to your library of content that you want to do, whether it be for mailers or anything like that, you can see them there. So systems. So here's some lead forwarding, right? So we talked about some of the integrations you have, but you can also do some stuff like this. So if you want receiving leads from Realtor.com or Zillow or everything like that, you can have them all sent directly into your CRM here. So you're not having to go check 3 or 4 different locations for any leads you might be receiving. And then here's your transaction management stuff. There's some of the integrations. So it looks like they've been moving some stuff around on what you can add. And then you're syncing, right? So you can sync your Gmail and your Outlook here too, which is a new add. Outlook's new, so that's kind of nice. DocuSign being there is an interesting one. We're having some discussions with them, so that might actually really benefit us in the future. And then tasks. So tasks are basically task plans. As you can see, the way that Glow's had it set up here is that you have a new buyer, a new listing, or a new buyer close, seller close. And so what this task list does is it will automatically apply to a client if you have a prospect that's turning into a true lead, and you're saying, okay, now they're getting to be a buyer. What are the things I need to accomplish on my side? True transaction management, right? Like I need to make sure I got this, we're doing this. I've set up the inspection, et cetera, and you can drive it all out that way so that when you drop into your Booge initially in your dashboard, you can see all the tasks here laid out by client, is the way it'll be, and you can go there and kind of literally use Booge as your daily kind of organizer for everything you've got to accomplish. So you can build out lists there in the settings and add any random task you want to it, and then have that template ready to apply for a new buyer or whatever it might be. Does that make sense? Cool. So we've talked about the settings, and now my next priority is to jump in here real quick because I think the website is something that you all will want to have, especially if you're not going out and paying a developer to create a website for you. The website that remax.com provides to you are awesome, quite honestly, and really well put together. So you can come in the website, your dashboard shows you your quick overview. You can see that she's gone ahead and pushed, or she hasn't published her website. I'm tempted to click that for her, but I'm not. I'll talk to Glow about that. But you can come here and click publish, and your website will go live. I think that as long as you've done that initial profile setup, right, where I told you your bio and all that kind of stuff, and make sure you got a good quality picture in there, that you can come in here and click publish without feeling at all any doubt. Like you have no doubt that the website will be a high quality website without having to do any customization right out of the gate. Okay. So if you're one of these people who are just like, listen, the website is good. I want to have it out there because when someone looks me up on remax.com, I want them to be able to see my website. I don't want to do a whole lot of customization, and feel confident that you can hit publish and it's going to be a very nice, clean representation of you right out of the gate. But if you want to go in and you want to start messing around with your website, that's also available to you. So we can come in here and take a look at what Glow has going on. So this is Glow's website. You can see that she's got a little picture carousel here at the top that'll flash through. Let's see what it'll flash through. Yeah, just some general stuff. You can come in here, you can upload any kind of picture you want here by coming into this little I don't even know what to call it, widget. And what I want you to understand about this little website editor is that the left side is widgets that we see, right? So the top thing is slideshow with search, and here's your slideshow with search. The next thing is your there's Glow's bio, right? As you run down, all these align according to where they actually are on your website, right? So if I want to take Glow's testimonials and drag them above her bio, I can do that. If I want to put them back where they were, I can do that. If I am working on one, so I came in here and I added a block. I say I wanted to add, I don't know, look at all these fun blocks. Some kind of, I don't know, contact form, for example. And I finished it and I saved it. But I wasn't completely done, right? So you see it here. This little toggle, if I'd actually put anything into that contact form, would be available for me, and I could actually turn it off. So I could be like, it's not ready yet, it's in draft. It will not show up on my website, but I haven't lost any of the work that I've done to that little block, right? And then when I'm finally done with that portion of it, I can come back in there and say, okay, you know what? I want it to go live. And then my website, it will be live on my website. So it allows you to, if you're building out something a little more sophisticated, like some kind of slideshow with previous listings, or just some of the photos and stuff like that, and you only got one picture in and then you had to run to a meeting, you don't just lose all that information. You can have it here sitting in draft and then come in, add another picture or two, and then hit publish, and it's off and running. Does that make sense? Okay. I'm going to delete that little guy I added there and put her website back to normal. So again, you can see everything here that's available to you. this is again driven by her profile on remax.com or on your Mac Center dashboard that I showed you. Remember, we're clicking on our face in the top right corner. Let's see if I can find it. Right up here, right? And we went over and we went to update profile. All that information is driving this information here. There's that bio, her contact info, the social networks that she has linked here. Okay. You see featured listings. And I believe you can choose whether you want just so that it sets it up so that it's not just your listings, but you can also do like company listings if you need something to fill in there. You can see your social media, so you can actually have like a true stream of your social media as opposed to just you know, a random posting or something like that. This is constantly updated, and you can see Glow as chosen, because if you know Glow, you know she's not rocking and rolling on social media all that much, but she's chosen to use remax.com's social media, their tweets and their Instagram here. So you can also have a CTA, so one of these call to actions, fun marketing jargon. You can have a CTA, so this one is, she has it to sign up for a Remax account, and she has it to download the mobile app. I don't know why that picture broke, but I'm sure it works in real life. And so what it just does, if they were to click on downloading the mobile app, this integrates, and when they download the mobile app, it will literally be your mobile app. So it'll be customized to you. All your agent information, everything will show up as their agent inside the app. It won't just go to a general mobile app that can send them to any Remax agent. It's all customized to you. And then all the behavior and all the actions and everything to do within that mobile app will feed back into your CR app. So then you'll know exactly what they're up to, what they're looking at, what type of homes they like. Let's say you had a discussion with them and they were like, oh, I want to stay in the 300K in this neighborhood. And then the next thing you know, you give them the app and then you see them, they're out floating around. They've left the neighborhood. They're 200K over what they wanted to spend. And you know that you need to reel them back and or have a discussion and see, maybe they just decided they want to increase what they're willing to spend, right? So that it's helpful to have access to kind of their behavior and their actions within the Remax site. And then last but not least, she's got a video here. Again, this is probably a cool spot where you could use one of those videos that we saw on Remax Hustle, or if you've got some drone or something like that you've had filmed and it did a great job of a previous listing you had, you can use that. Or if you have an introductory video, whatever you want, you can use here. You can also use actual existing videos. So anything from YouTube or what's the other video platform? I always forget it.
Vimeo.
Yes, thank you, Kevin. You can use Vimeo there. Is it Vimeo? I don't know. You can use that as well. Any of those links we'll use, and they'll give you a it'll give you a still like this of the actual video. I think this one is a BuzzFeed video, so it probably needs to update it to at least a high definition once it looks a little cleaner. But a lot of these videos, at least the Remax ones and stuff like that, are going to be, they're going to have a nice still that'll look nice and clean there when you upload them there. And last but not least, you can put a contact info here so that if you have someone who's come into your website organically and they're interested in doing business with you, this is how you can generate your lead directly from your website. And you can, again, move this anywhere you want, right? Very cool, very simple. I guarantee you with 100% confidence that she has actually not done any editing to this. So this is basically right out of the box, no touching. And it's a fairly high quality website. I mean, it's not going to blow anyone's socks off, but it's also not something that you should feel any kind of consternation or concern about doing. She has been in here a little bit because she uploaded this video, but outside of that, it doesn't look like she did a whole lot. So that's available to you. There are other templates, so you can also see a full preview. So if you want to see what this looks like after you've messed around with it, you can see the website. They're all mobile friendly, so all that will change, and you can actually do a preview of that as well. Click exit, and you can see all the websites and all the pages and all that stuff that's available to you. You can add different actual web pages to your website, right? It's not just a single page website like they used to be. So if you want to start getting a little more fancy and you want to have a new home buyer landing page, you can do that. If you want to have, a I don't know, home value calculator specific site, and where you start talking more about valuation and all that kind of stuff, you can do that. It's all available to you, and it can be as convoluted or as simple as you like. So coming back out here to kind of show you what that looks like. I don't know if she's actually, let's see if she's done anything. Yeah, so we got a full preview. Yeah, she's kept it simple. So what you'd have is you have the classic website hamburger, the 3 lines here in the top right corner, as a headline, and it would allow you to go see some of those more specific, like new home buyer websites and all this kind of stuff that you can develop and provide a potential client or an actual client. So I went all the way out by accident. Let me go back in there. Any questions on the websites? I know, again, with time as an interest here that I ran through those fairly quickly. The other thing that I can very quickly call out to you is you can mess with the navigation. So how that little hamburger lays out, right? If you guys ever seen a hamburger, not dissimilar to like the 3 dots on my browser. I don't know if that actually shows, but very similar to that. You can also do domain manager, so you can actually use a domain that you own. So if I've got kevinblackrocks.com as my agent URL, I can actually make that URL forward to my remax.com website, and you can actually mask it, which is kind of cool, so that the URL never changes in the actual web browser. It'll just still show kevinblackrocks.com, and they'll think that you've actually built a whole website underneath that URL, even though it's just forwarding. It's called masking. So you can do that kind of fun stuff as well. The last thing I'm going to jump in here, and I know I've got 10 minutes, and I know that you guys are probably getting really bored of hearing me speak, is the contacts and leads portion of Booge. So thankfully, and this is a cool thing about having an actual agent Booge account logged in, is you can see everything that's available to you this way, as opposed to my blank one where we put in friends, characters, and Seinfeld characters as names for you guys. But very simple, very straightforward stuff. On the right side here, you have actions, so you can text somebody. She hasn't turned on her texting, as you saw when we were in setup, but you can text somebody, you can email them directly out of the platform. Any texts or emails that you're sending from within the platform are saved in the platform. So if I were to text Brandy Caldwell here, later on, I could click on Brandy Caldwell and I can see all communication that I've had with her captured in one spot. Why is that valuable? Well, it's valuable if you're on a team and you've got someone scrubbing leads for you. You can see all the communication they sent, so that when that lead comes to you, you can see what the actual discussion was. You're not just coming in cold. It's also helpful if you, for some unfortunate reason, have some issue with the real estate commission and they're looking for your communications that you've had with a client. You have it all captured in one spot. You're not having to go take screenshots of your text messages or looking through your Gmail for all the emails that you sent. It's all integrated here in one spot, so you can capture that very quickly. And again, on the team side of things, let's say you are working with a client and you want to hand that over to someone else to finish off, whether it be a transaction coordinator or something like that. You can also capture all your full relationship in a very quick manner. So that's kind of the advantages of having your text and email here. Tags, she hasn't used any tags, but you can add a tag to anybody fairly simply. So if I just come in, well, let's not go to ZDN, I don't even know what that means, but let's go to Pam. If I want to add a tag here, if I don't like any of these tags that are here, I can literally just start typing in. So I can say tall people, and press enter, and that tag is now been created. That's all it takes to create a tag. If you go back and you click on your face up here, and you go to settings and you go to your tag, you can actually clean up those tags in case you had one that you just developed for like a mailing list or something like that. But that's how you would create one. You can see your activity types are related to this. That's that task list stuff that we were talking about earlier, right? You can apply a task plan. So she had a couple of task plans she had built out, new buyer, new listing. You can just drop them in there, and then boom, I'm off and running, and I get that in my dashboard every day. I can create all kinds of details where this lead came from. This one obviously came from Megaphone, but you do phone numbers, email addresses, their social media profiles, their preferences from a contact perspective, any kind of date, and then you can leverage these dates later on, right? Whether it's anniversary dates, new home dates, birthdays, child's birthdays, dog's birthdays, I don't know, you name it, you can add all kinds of fun dates. Their lead status, and then who referred them to you, and then any connection. So the connection would be like, you've got a couple or a partner or whatever, you can connect them back to that person, and then you can prioritize who gets emails and text messages about new homes and stuff like that, so you're not just smashing everybody with the same email and text every single time. Again, your inbox here is all your information that's available on as far as what you guys communicate. You can do it emails, you can do it by, if they just fill out a form on your website, or if they are text messages, and then this is just a lead, right? And I can convert it to a contact, and that's going to prioritize it in my dashboard of my contacts and leads as well. Any campaigns you've signed them up for. So let's say you want to put them on a nurture, you put them on they're like, oh, I'm not ready to buy now, but I'm probably gonna be ready in a year. So you start hitting them with your nurture campaign, where you're sending them all the new listings in a specific area that they're interested in every couple of weeks, right? And just making sure that they keep your name top of mind and hoping that you catch them at the right time. You can do that. You can also do things that's just like simple campaigns, one-off campaigns, like, oh, I'm just going to do, I've got a showing or open house that I want people to know about. A better example than a showing. I got an open house, and I want everyone to know about it. And you can put them on just a single send, one-time mail campaign. And then you can also set up a birthday campaign, and you can have automatically the CRM send a birthday message to any of your clients and prospects whenever their birthday is, right? Things like that as well. I think those are like called milestone campaigns or something like that. Deals, again, it's just their deal history, listings, anything that you've done for them in the past. This is where you can see everything that they get into, right? When they're on your app or they're on remax.com, you can see all the last time they logged in, all the properties they favorited, the searches that they've saved. You can actually save a search for them and give it to them. You can do all kind of fun stuff. You can see if they're part of a household, any notes, again, so this is important. Again, if you've got like someone who's scrubbing leads for you or anything like that, they can add any notes here that add color to the relationship and all that kind of stuff. And that way, if you're having an issue or if they're in the middle of something and you got a transaction coordinator who's trying to figure something out, you can all work together here and see everything that's going on with this person. And you can actually, when you go to convert this and send it to someone to close it out, you can actually choose whether or not your notes go to them or not. If this is just a prospect that you end up referring to an agent entirely, you can actually send them all the information you've gathered here, and then tell the system what not to send them, right? I don't want them to have my notes, but I'm going to go ahead and give this lead to Glow or whatever it might be. And the last but not least, all your history. So literally any change made to this profile, literally any change, whether it's me typing in something, a note or whoever, it's captured here, and who has actually done the change, right? So if you've got an assistant that's working, you can see this. So one day the phone number is wrong and you're like, I know that number was right. You can come in here and see who changed the phone number. Anything you could possibly imagine, any change with this client or prospect is kind of here. So that this is probably really great if you're transferring for leads or making referrals, and it's all captured here. You can see who's touched it and who hasn't. And all that kind of fun stuff. If you got a team of people who are working leads, this is really important because this helps you kind of work with commitment and keeping track of whether or not they're actually making the calls they're supposed to be making, and accountability and all that kind of stuff, right? You can see it here. Because you're like, oh, you made that call, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, well, how come I don't see any notes and I haven't changed any history? I don't see any history here with that person a week, right? So going back out to the main dashboard, the last thing I'm going to highlight here for you guys is that you can do all kinds of filtering, right? So we can just look up for first names, all kinds of fun stuff. I can also come in here and say, what am I trying to prioritize? If I'm trying to do a certain tag, and I don't know, my brain is starting to break. Where they were sourced from and all that kind of stuff, because I want to do a specific mail campaign. I can come in here and say, okay, this came from the mobile app, and it was tagged as a lender, whatever it might be, right? And then I can save any of these views, any which way, so that if you are getting into it, you've got your 2,000 person database and you're wanting to hit people who, you sold a home to a year ago or 2 years ago, because you think these people would be ripe for an email campaign about, graduating to a new home or something like that. You can actually filter it out and then highlight those people and add them all at once into that type of campaign, right? You can save that view so that later on in another 2 years, when you're getting ready to do another campaign that type, you don't have to come back in here and do all your filters again. You can just save them as, okay, these are my new home buyers who have bought homes in the last 2 years, or these are my tall people who, or my people who are looking for a little home. I don't know, whatever it might be, you can save all these different views so that you can do different campaigns without having to kind of, redesign the wheel, or whatever that term is. If you were to come in here and do a filter, right? If you were to come in here and do this great big filter here and then leave, right? Find out, and then come back, and you don't find anybody, and you're like, what the heck? What happened to my 9,000 leads? It's because your filter is still on. And so they color them to show you that they're on, and it'll remember however you left it the last time you were there. Important to remember, because I've had agents call me and say, all my leads are gone. I don't know, Remax broke. I lost all my leads in a panic. And then I'm like, well, have you reset your filters? And they're like, no. And then I just click like this, and then everything's back and they're speaking Earth again, right? So just remember, it's going to remember the last way you left it, no matter what. Okay. Last but not least, add an import, which is probably going to be very important to you guys. You can import lists. You can sync contacts with your Gmail and everything. We talked about that just a second ago in your Outlook. You can add them one at a time. But importing lists is a very simple thing. If you've bringing over leads from a previous platform, and you got a file direct from that platform, they've actually gone ahead. This is awesome, because it used to be like one thing on here, and now you can see it's built out pretty good. You can just click on where it came from. Let's say you got a Boomtown output. Just click the CSV file to load from your desktop or whatever and hit upload, and it'll align that automatically with all the existing fields that you already have. You can also do it, if this isn't for you, you can come in here, you click your CSV, and then you would have to align those fields correctly, right? You would tell it, okay, on this CSV, this column is for the last name, this column's for the first name, right? But then once you're done, you hit click and it'll drop it all into the right place for you automatically. A CSV, because I get this question all the time, it's just a different type of file that Microsoft Excel can make. It's not anything crazy. You don't need a special piece of software or anything like that. If you have an Excel spreadsheet with all your clients and everything, and in your database or whatever, you can literally just go into that spreadsheet, click save as, and type CSV as a file type, and you have a CSV. I actually recommend for people to use this template. So they got this little template that they let you download. And the only reason I say that is because there's like 7 different types of CSV, and some different file types and some different platforms do it differently. So what I do is I always just set up my information on, my import, so that these columns at least line up in a certain way. And then I just copy and paste it into this literal template that I just download, hit save, and then use it to upload. So there's I have seen some people who are like created like some weird kind of CSV that didn't work. This way kind of prevents that from ever being an issue. And if you guys ever need help with anything like that, obviously we can walk you through that. I know I might have made it sound complicated, but it felt simple to me. But whatever the case might be, if you need help, they just let us know. And that concludes my hour and 15-minute speed through Max Center and the Remax platforms. So I'm going to stop here. And Kevin, Kelly, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. I have not been checking the chat. Aaron.
I'm on it.
It looks like Amy and everyone has been checking the chat, so I think you guys are all great there. And look, I always end all the trainings because I know that I run through things at 100 miles per hour. If you go to mess around with Booze later and half the stuff that we said literally escapes you and you can't understand how to do it anymore, that is 100% honestly somewhat to be expected, given how quickly we talk about these things. So please just give us a shout. You know, you got our contact info. I will put my email in the chat so that you know that I'm being honest, and I do want you to contact me. I'm not hiding from you.
Yeah, I think it's important to know that like we have there's all three of us, we've got a team, so we want you guys to feel like you're not alone. Like I know my agents that have come on board, they get extremely overwhelmed with all the technology and all that. So if you don't feel comfortable coming to us, then go to your admin as you get to know them, and then they usually will come to us if they can't figure it out. So I just want you guys to know that you're just not out there on an island, that we're kind of, all of us are here to help. So
yeah, that's exactly the sentiment I'm trying to convey as well. So this is not the end all be all of your boost training or your Max Center training or whatever. So Kevin, I'm going to yell at the people at Remax to get you a open house sign up list. But again, things as you see them, that's also another great call out. If you see things that you would like and you don't see them available on a megaphone or whatnot, call them out, because we have, like I said, we have a lot of influence on what shows up and what doesn't, and we will raise that flag for you guys when it makes sense. I mean, if you're asking for something bananas, like I'm not going to do it, but I think you know, open house sign up sheet makes a lot of sense. So definitely something we'll raise up. Again, thank you for your time. I know that I'm probably not the most charismatic of presenters, and I appreciate you guys sitting through this whole entire presentation with me in my rapid fire training. So again, if you have any questions, reach out to us, and I think you will continue to hear from Jackie as far as upcoming training and everything like that. I believe starting in the second week of September, I think the week after Labor Day, on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday basis, there'll be training available every single week if you are all interested. And those Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays are already set out as to what they are. I think maybe we might put in like one random training a month where we literally just turn this thing on and say, okay, what questions do you have for anybody? Because that might be helpful, because I know the other ones were a little more structured. And then we can hit some of the one-offs that way as well. So a lot of stuff available to you guys. And I'm done. Aaron, Amy.
yeah, you did great. My head's spinning and I already know all this stuff, so I know it's gonna be. But yeah, was there, I guess you guys all know, nobody has any questions, it all kind of makes sense so far, and just go in there, play around with it.
Yep.
My favorite part's the website, and of course make sure you got your zip codes, or else you're not gonna get any leads. So that's what most important.
Yeah, and I guess that's a good reminder. So real quick. I know
Oh,
you gotta
make
go.
sure it's going to your cell phone on your text.
Yeah,
or
make sure you
else-
put your cell phone in there.
If
and
you
then-
don't, because if you're not going into Booge, then it's gonna like text your cell phone. So that's really important. So you know that you do have leads. So
Yeah, so the if you do not act on 3 leads consecutively, they will remove you from receiving leads, and you'll have to go back in and type in all your zip codes and all that kind of stuff again. So even if you get a lead and you don't want it, which it happens, you can decline it, right, or pass on it. Make sure that you're acting on it so that you don't get pulled out of the lead bank or whatever you want to call it, because you haven't done anything with them. Okay, so just be aware of that, because that's something we'll hear from folks every once in a while. I'll be like, I haven't gotten a lead forever, and I'll be like, I'll go look at their history, and they got leads and they just didn't do anything at all because they were too busy. It was a hot time in the market or whatever, and they're like, I got live bodies over here, I'm not dealing with this lead. And then next thing you know, they're not getting leads when it's a little bit more of a downtime and they're looking for them. So something to keep in mind. All right, guys. Well, thanks for your time. I'll let you go. And again, if you have any questions, just give me a shout. Thanks,
Bye,
Kelly. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.